Thanks for joining us today on The Perfect X. I'm Sherry, and this is Ben.
Hi, everyone. This is Benjamin or Ben.
Which one do you prefer?
I really don't care. I usually introduce myself as Benjamin. And even in Spanish, I always say, Hola, soy Benjamin. But it's so much easier, and like everyone just calls me Ben, and I really don't care. So,
All right,
yeah,
Ben it is. And
Ben.
this is The Perfect X. Ben, however you said it.
Benjamin.
Benjamin. And today we're talking about jealousy.
Yes.
I might start calling you Benom. That's how you say it in Persian.
How?
I don't know if I'm saying it right, actually. I'm probably the worst to do this, but Benom. Benom. I knew a Benom. I dated I mean, if you can call it dating, but when I was like 13, 14, I went out with a Benom.
A Benham. Okay, you can
Yeah.
call me Benham.
I didn't even know he was Persian. I just found out later. But uh, but I think I'll stick with Ben or Benom.
Yeah, I'm fine. I've had so many nicknames growing up, so I really don't care about nicknames. So
Good.
it's all good. Yeah.
So we should tell our listeners that today's a Friday. So instead of recording on a Monday, so I'm not going to ask you what you did on the weekend. I'm going to ask you, what do you have planned for the weekend?
So today I am going to go and have wings. Yesterday I went to watch a baseball game and they give out like free wings or something, free 5 wings if you order 10 or something like that. So a friend of me and I are gonna go to have some wings, and then afterwards, I don't know, maybe bowling or I don't know, something. No, we just like make plans at the moment.
How
Um,
cute.
yeah, and the rest of the weekend, I don't think I'm gonna do anything. I kind of want a chill weekend because last weekend I did a lot, and then next weekend is gonna be 4th of July, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do other stuff and have a really long weekend. So yeah, what about you?
I have my niece this weekend. I pick her up on Saturday, and then I take her to like some summer school program out in LA for the week. So she'll be there for the week, and then I get her again. I pick her up next weekend, and then I have her all of next weekend, and then she goes home, and then I literally fly to Vegas for July 4th with my girlfriend, with Massa, the
Oh,
one you met. Yeah,
oh yeah, I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
Massa.
We've actually like in the 10 years I've been here, like I've gone to like little barbecues and stuff for July 4th, but I've never like really gone all American July 4th. So we're both like here for like in America for 10 years, and she's from Iran and I'm from Canada, but still like we were like, let's really July 4th it. Like we're like, how can we go all out? And we're like, let's do Vegas. Like we couldn't think of what would be like a bigger July 4th party for us. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be packed. I mean, Vegas is always packed, but
I know, I know. I mean, it's gonna be nuts. We're there for such a short amount of time, which, to be honest, kind of sucks. Like, I never get to have my niece to myself. Like, she's 14, so she's like, like I'm sort of cool, but I'm like don't know all the lingo kind of thing for her. So I was really excited to have her, and I would have had her for longer, but I had booked the Vegas trip beforehand, before I found
yeah.
out she was coming. So I only get her for like Saturday, Sunday, 2 weekends. But I mean, I wasn't gonna cancel this Vegas thing, so.
How long are you going to Vegas?
We're literally going on the 3rd and coming back on the 5th. So we're in and out. And
Oh
like we're
wow.
coming back so early on the 5th. So like really only one full day.
Oh yeah, that's a
So
short trip. But I
super
mean, you're
short.
so close.
I
I
know,
mean,
I know.
compared to me.
Well, no, I know because like LA, like people drive there, which I would never do. I can't do road trips like that. Like I pee way too much. It's just so stressful, so stressful. I think Massa told you on the first time I
Yeah.
was sitting next to you. She's like, "Oh, she's gonna have to pee a lot, FYI." So I hate road trips. I hate being in the car. It gives me so much anxiety. Like all I think about is the fact that like I have to constantly try to find a bathroom. So I don't go to Vegas often. I mean, like I don't know. I in the time I've been here, I think I've been like twice since I've moved
I've
out
only
here.
yeah, I've only been once.
Oh, really?
Um,
Ever?
ever. Yeah, in 9 years
Oh,
living here.
no
And it
way.
was right. It was February. Oh, end of January, beginning of February of 2020, and it was like the peak of COVID. And a friend of mine, he's like for sure saying that he got it. Like he was really, really sick. But of course, there was no testing. It was like barely starting. So he's like, I'm pretty sure I had it. I felt terrible, blah, blah, blah. But there was no way to know if he really had it or not. Because,
I believe he had, and I'll tell you why. But like everybody I know who's gone to Vegas since COVID started, like even after everything's like normal and whatever, whatever, no matter who, like people who I know who like when LA had like 46,000 cases a day, they go to Vegas and everybody I know came back with COVID. So we like in like with my friends, we joke that like you go to Vegas and you come back with COVID. Like it's just it's just But I believe he had it. It's
yeah,
crazy. I went to Vegas so much as a kid. Like we used to drive there even from Vancouver. Like we went to Vegas all the time. My mom loves Vegas. And she was in Vegas right before COVID lockdown too. And so she didn't get it though, thank God. But
yeah,
yeah, like Vegas is it's crazy you've only been once. Like I've gone so much as a kid that I don't really care as an adult.
yeah. I like to gamble. So I also think it's good that I don't go. Um, but I want to go again and just be able to sit on a poker table for as long as I want.
Just can.
I went with other friends and we all like, oh, let's do this, let's go here, let's go there. They had already been there before, and so it was good. I mean, we went to a Cirque du Soleil show and we did other stuff, which was good. But I did want to like sit down at a table and play some Texas Hold'em or something like
Got it,
that.
got it.
So yeah, next time I think I'm gonna take like a certain amount and just be like, sorry guys, if I go with friends or something, I'm like, today I'm just gonna sit here. You guys go do whatever you want. I'm gonna be here. So
See, I don't gamble. It is massive. I mean, we're really honestly hoping to meet guys. Like I've been told, like so many people I know went to Vegas and randomly met someone and got married. Not in Vegas that time, but later. Like good quality guys. So we're hoping, and we're staying
what's
at
gonna
like
be
the.
a good I have to ask you all the questions when you come back and
I
see if you
know,
met
I
someone.
know. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. All right. So I guess we kind of touched base on this last podcast, but our topic today is jealousy. So I am curious because we grew up in like a generation where jealousy was actually a positive thing. Like at least in North America, I don't know about Mexico, but I know in Canada and the way like they portrayed it, kind of the way like marketing was and Hollywood was, is like if you made someone jealous, that meant they liked you. So what does jealousy mean to you? Like that's what we grew up on. How do you perceive it as an adult?
I always felt jealousy was insecurities, like that you were
Mm-hmm.
insecurity. For me, I never thought it was good. I mean, it kind of feels because there's levels of jealousy, and so I don't mind that my girlfriend or whoever is a bit jealous and is like, "Hey, like, who is that girl?" Or like just asking questions. But when they go all nuts, then that's bad. It's I mean, I guess it kind of feels nice that they want to know like what's going on, right? I mean, they're not like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Like, because talk to
But
that
you
girl. Like, then it will feel like, oh, like you don't care. Like, but there is a level of jealousy that's okay. You have to calm down.
so I mean that's kind of interesting you say that. Like I think that jealousy growing up, I like into my mid-20s, I used to love making someone jealous. I was a really big game player, I was really immature. I was, brought up in a society where if a guy cared, he got jealous. And so I loved to play the games to make him jealous. Like I used to think that that was a good sign. As an
Yeah,
like after like my last toxic relationship in my early mid 20s, I really, really feel that, and I've always felt this way. Like any sign of jealousy is a sign of insecurity. It's actually a self reflection. It has nothing, it does not mean the person likes you. It does not mean, and what you're kind of describing is someone being curious. Like if my guy is talking to a girl at a party or something, I'm going to be like, oh, who is that? But I'm not going to be upset about it or jealous. I'm just curious. I would ask the same question if it was a guy, you know?
yeah.
Um,
But
but
okay, so you say you would ask the same question if it was a guy. But do you
yeah, I would
feel?
want to know. I'm nosy. I
Yeah,
want to
no,
know
no,
what
no.
you
I
think.
get that. I mean, I would also ask the same question. But when you ask if you're dating this guy and this guy's talking to a girl, does it does the question kind of is also like who is this girl? Like, is it like a different intention of the question? Like,
So
I don't
here's the
know.
thing. Like I really, really, really think that, when we're insecure, we are jealous because we constantly need to be, we think that, and it can also not just be insecure in you, it could be insecure in the relation. Maybe that combination of you and that person would make you insecure, If
Correct.
I wouldn't be with someone today, that if they were speaking with somebody else, I would question. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it kind of goes back to last podcast where I really think that men and women, a guy can talk to any random girl and just talk to them they would anybody as if they weren't, sexually interested in them or emotionally interested in them past friendship. So I wouldn't think that I would be with someone today that if they were just, let's say we're at a big party and they're randomly talking to some girl and they're laughing and laughing and talking and talking, I wouldn't be with someone who made me insecure, not only within myself or within the relationship, that I would need to question that situation. And I have been with people who are very social, who I didn't feel that need. And I've also been with people who did make me very insecure and bring out total jealousy. So I now think there's a big, very big, big difference. Now, I'm not saying like maybe this one girl's like stunning like a model, and you're like, okay, like he's talking to her a long time, and then you afterwards I like maybe bug him a little and I'm like, hey, like she was really good looking, and then you laugh about it. But if he made me feel that that's all it took for him to move on past me, I wouldn't be with that person.
Of course.
So I
And
really, really don't question it.
correct. And something that you mentioned, and I feel it's like I agree with you 100%, and I have not thought about it. It's you could be jealous about the relation, not about
Yes.
him, but like you're like it's kind of like
The,
not working, and there's something that is just off, and it's not maybe him, it's just how both
you
of
two
you are.
together.
Yeah. And that's really good. Like, yeah.
Well, because I think sometimes we forget. Like I was actually a very, very secure person. So my two long relationships, one was between 19 and 21, and then one was between, I want to say 24 or 25 maybe, and 27,
Hmm.
like on and off between that time frame. I'm really not 100%, but I mean I know at 27, like on my 27th birthday, I called him and I was like, I never ever want anything to do with you again. So that's when I know it ended. But starting wise, I'm not precise, but anyways, my 19 to 21, I was never a jealous person before that. I didn't wasn't in situations to be jealous. I still believed that because I was like not by my parents raised, but culturally, like in society raised, by TV, that jealousy was a positive thing, and I liked to make guys jealous. But I wasn't really in situations where I felt jealous or made someone else jealous. When I was
Hmm.
19, I dated someone who was really, really stable, and I don't know if I was as stable of a person as he was. Like I'm not sure, but together we were so healthy. Together we were so positive. And, when we a lot of our relationship was clubbing. I met him at a club. We were at the age where you club, like in Canada, you club at 19. And we were really like, that's a lot of our relationship. And I had a lot of guy friends, and he befriended all my guy friends. Everyone loved him. And
Yeah.
a lot of my guy friends were single. And when they were at the club, they would talk to other girls. And never one time did I feel insecure in that relationship. Never once. Our combination together didn't bring that out of me.
Yeah.
I hate to slide this in there because I always make fun of you, but he was also a Taurus. But yeah, I know I make
Tourists
fun
are
of him.
great.
I will say, like, he was a really good guy, and he was. I didn't know about Tauruses then, but he was a fucking Taurus. So he was, but we were great together, and I never questioned it, and he really never gave me reason to. And I've seen him in other relationships past. He's just not a cheater. It's just a good human. We were good together, and so even though I was the type to try to make jealous situations that was in me, I didn't do it with him.
Yeah.
And then with the other one, I didn't believe in jealousy anymore. So when I broke up with him, like between 22 and stuff, I started realizing like jealousy is just a reflection of insecurity, and it doesn't mean someone likes you. I didn't
Yeah.
believe in that. But that next relationship was so unhealthy, the combination together. He was such an insecure person. I wasn't at the time. He made me insecure. The relationship made me insecure. That jealousy was what we feed it off. Like I would literally go to clubs and go out of my way trying to get a guy to hit on me in front of him, and try to razz him up. Like, but it wasn't in me for a long time. Like, it wasn't someone who I was before, and I never was after. Like, that our combination was so unhealthy that
Yeah,
something,
that's really unhealthy what you did.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
I
why it's important to bring that up because it wasn't in me as a person anymore, but it became me.
yeah. I mean, I would never do that. Try to make someone jealous. Unless, I mean, if we're not dating and I kind of want to see if she's interested or something, maybe I would like intentionally like try to talk to other girls, like just to see how she reacts. But if I'm in a relationship with someone, I would never do that. Like, no, that
See,
because it fractures your relationship.
I'm gonna tell you something. Even when you're not dating them, it's bad, and I'll tell you why. Because if you that's a game. Like if you start with games, you'll never ever stop. And no matter what people say, no matter what, the thing is we're like animals. We are trained. So if you learn that a reaction worked for you, even if 5 years later you're put in a situation, maybe you and that relationship, you and the girl are uncomfortable, you're just going through a hard time, you are going to remember, your brain will remember that that reaction worked for you once before, and you may do it again. Maybe you're married, or well, you don't want to get married, but let's say you're together for 5 years, you have a house, you whatever, 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 and you're in a bad spot. You are going to go back and play that game again. And the second time around, as adult, 5 years in, may not work for you as well as it did the first time. We always remember reactions more than situations. And if you had a positive reaction from doing something negative once, you will do it again. And you may
Okay.
not get the same reaction.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And I'll
Mm.
tell you that way, like with that guy I told you I dated, when we first started dating, he told me, I don't want a girlfriend. And I was like, no, like a player at the time. We both moved into this. I moved in the city before him. I was already dating a bunch of different guys. I was enjoying my life. I don't want to be someone's girlfriend. I don't want the label. I just want to date a bunch. And he knew. He knew. And he
Yeah.
was told by mutual guy friends, that's how I met him, that she's not going to date you. She also doesn't date Persians. She doesn't, whatever, whatever. So he told me, we started with a game. And then he told wasn't interested in me. So when we go to parties initially, like within our mutual friends' houses, I would spend time engaging with other guys, and then it would really rise him up, like rattle him up, and he would try to like work harder to get my attention. See, I was getting the reaction I wanted. And then every time something bad happened in our relationship and we were out and about, I would do that again. Subconsciously, consciously, however it was, I had trained myself and him that these were the reactions that I would work. And it doesn't always work positive. Like in the end, he was like, fuck you. Like you're always going to go after another guy's attention. And it made everything worse. But it worked for me when we were just dating.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah. True. I also, yeah. I also think, yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I'm thinking about it, and yeah.
Human nature is repetitive. Like, I mean, we repeat behaviors, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like not to touch the hot stove. You probably like touched it once and it burnt a little, and you aim to never do it again.
Oh, I
It's,
opened a pressure cooker one time.
and now you're always careful around them.
Oh, now I don't even have one. I don't even want to see one.
See?
I
See?
burned I burned my arm so bad. It was
Oh my God.
bad. Yeah. So,
So there you go.
yeah, I blame my dad because my mom wasn't there. My dad was like, I don't know, reading the newspaper or something. I'm like, hey, dad, what is my mom cooking? And he didn't answer. And I just saw like a pot, and I was like, well, I'll just open and see what's inside. And I didn't realize pressure
Jesus
cookers, how they
Christ.
work. I was like maybe 12, 13, just like pop and like
Jesus
beans
Christ.
everywhere.
Listen, beans. I love that you say it was beans. but, but but there you go, you see? I mean,
Yeah.
and then you don't do it again. You don't even have one, you don't touch one. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine it was a positive reaction. You would always open it. And if someone told you, hey, Ben, don't do it, and nothing happened to you, and you like the first time, you'd be like, no, man, I've done it before. Relax, relax, not a big deal. And then one
Yeah.
time, it'll burn you,
Yeah.
you
True.
know? But just imagine nothing happened to you. You would do it again. You
Yeah.
would fucking do it again. That's the thing. It's human nature.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, remember last episode we were talking about breaks.
Mhm.
So let's say you're not a jealous person, and then you go on a break, do you think that would change a bit? Like, if you don't know really what happened, do you think that changes a bit?
I would if I saw like my like boyfriend or the guy I'm on a break with on another date, I would be jealous, of course, but I'm not entitled to it. I mean, we're on a break. But of course I
Yeah,
would
I know,
feel
but
upset.
even if you didn't know, would you like kind of have like in the back of your head, like, what if he did go out with someone? What if he did hook
But
up
he's
with someone?
supposed to. He can. He can. I have
Okay,
to accept it. I have to accept it. If we chose to go on a break, I have to accept it, you
okay,
know? But
yeah.
I would, of course, be upset. I mean, but that's a different kind of jealousy, right? That's like, you have to accept the situation. It
Well,
sucks.
I get it, but
But they're not
then the
making
relationship is just gonna not be good.
Well, no, because it's different. Because think about it, when you go on a break or if you break up, you have to accept the fact that that person's going to date someone else. It's a different
O-
kind of jealousy. They're not going out of their way to make you jealous. They're just moving on with their life,
Okay, okay,
right? And
yeah,
we're talking about like being with someone and going out of their way to make that person jealous. You know?
But okay,
And
I,
people, you can be surprised. Like some people, they don't do well with jealousy. My girlfriend, she's like valued jealousy so much. Like for her, it was the only way she felt like a guy liked her, and so she played with that a lot. And I'm not going to be like the last guy, unfortunately, beat the crap out of her. Like
oh shit,
I hate to say, but it happens. It happened. Like this
yeah,
super calm person. Like when you enrage someone to that extent, he became someone. I mean, I knew the guy for a year. I met him, not knew him very well. I don't live there, but I met him, and he seemed very. And she never complained about his temper, but you know, there's like some people really it's a pressure cooker. I mean, it's the
yeah,
best example. It's a fucking pressure cooker. Like,
yeah,
jealousy can bring the worst out of people.
yeah,
It's a nasty I mean, there's healthy jealousy. Like, I mean, you could take it out in another context. Like, someone has something you want, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna work towards that. I really want it. That's like level, but like going to try to make someone jealous, like, whew,
yeah. Yeah, what you're saying, like the good jealousy, it's kind of hard to describe it, but it's like kind of like ambition, like, oh, I want to
mm-hmm.
get that, and not that you're like, oh, I hate that that person has that. It's more like,
Exactly.
oh, that's amazing that he has it or she has it, and I want it too. So now, what can I do to get it, and not to be like, oh, now I have it too. No, it's just now I have it too. I fucking work for it.
It's like
So
going out
yeah.
with a couple, and you're like my girlfriend and her husband are like two of my girlfriends and their husbands are like the cutest husbands ever. I mean, my sister and my dad and mom are great too, but like when you see it within your friends, you're like, oh, they have such good husbands. And then I'm like, I really want that too. It's not that I'm jealous for them, it's something I also want to attain, but I'm so happy that my girlfriends are so loved.
Yeah,
It's like that's healthy, that's normal. But trying
yeah,
to make someone jealous, man, it's not good. And people, it's really not a reflection of them liking you. It's just a reflection of how insecure they are with a situation or themselves.
of course.
So, what would you do if you felt you're with someone trying to make you jealous all the time?
I would talk to that person and be like, hey, you have to stop doing that shit. Like, if I'm with you, it's because I want to be with you, and there's no need for you to try to make that like because it's gonna get me mad. Like if I realize that she's doing it just to like um so I can pay more attention, or I don't know, like yeah, I
If
would
she's
I would
trying to validate your feelings of her.
yeah, I would totally talk with her and be like, hey, you have to quit that shit. Like, no, I care about you. I'm in it because I want to be with you, and you don't have to play all these games. I mean, if she wanted to play it just to see how I felt, like what I said that you said that we shouldn't do before we were dating, okay, I get it. I understand what you're saying that we shouldn't do it,
If it
but if
happens,
it's yeah, but if it's during the relationship, I would be like, quit it, like because I'm gonna get pissed. I mean,
you're pressure
it's
cooking.
yeah.
The
I mean,
beans are gonna
I'm
come out.
yeah, the beans are gonna come out, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? If you keep doing that shit, I'm just gonna break up because then it feels bad. Like everyone's gonna be noticing that my girlfriend is like talking to other guys, and she's kind of like I don't know, like being flirty or something. It's gonna look terrible on my side.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. Like it's gonna be like, what kind of relationship do these guys have that that girl is talking to other guys, and
Well,
I'm gonna be
talking
like,
or flirting, because there's a
oh, we're
difference.
like, well, if she's talking with someone and just talking because she's talking with someone, like you, like I'm pretty sure you go up and talk with everyone,
I
and
do.
even if you're in a relationship, but if you're being flirty, if you and I are dating and you're being flirty with someone else and you do it constantly, I would be like, the fuck are you doing?
It's funny that you say that because, well, I mean, one funny thing, when I actually am interested in someone, I don't talk at all. So it's when people first meet me, like when Massive first met me, I'll never forget the first time we went out. She's like, "Do you like that guy?" I was like, "No, not at all." Why? She's like, "But you keep talking to him." I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't like him." Like, but I agree with you. Like, I've actually had to end things with quite a few guys because they couldn't handle. I talk to everybody. I fucking can't help myself. And they were getting
I
jealous.
know.
I wasn't going out. You're like, yeah, poor. I was one of those poor bastards. but,
No, I loved it. I loved it. One of my best flights ever.
but you know what I mean? Like some guys, they don't like it. And I don't
Yeah.
do it to make someone jealous. Like, I really don't. I can't help myself. I can't keep my mouth to myself. So, I've had to end things with guys that couldn't accept that. Like they really couldn't, they took it always as me flirting and not me talking to them. And,
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like there was one guy, like oh God, I haven't, I hung out with him twice. So I made the mistake going back twice. But we had like a great time together. We actually really matched and we really were doing great. And we went out with his friends. We were sitting in one of those U-shaped booths, and his friend had just broken up with his fiance. And you know me, I love like dating stuff. And um, so I was like getting all into it with him, giving him advice. Like I also think the whole point in like guy girl friendships is like a girl can give you another perspective. So
Yeah.
and so I was like really into the conversation. This is like right up my alley of conversations. And he lost his fucking shit. He lost his shit. He slammed his drink on the table, waited for me to react, and instead I'm like, no. I just got up, I left, and I didn't speak to him for a long, long time, like years.
Yeah.
And then he reached out again and he was like, please, like, I see where my wrong was, blah, 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 blah. Because I was like, this will never work. Like, I'm social. I'm always going to talk to people. And he's like, I'm not like that anymore. I'm not like that anymore. And then we kind of started hanging out again, but not together, like just kind of hanging out. And then we went out one night, and then I was talking a lot with like the bartender or bouncer. I can't remember. I was a bouncer. Like I was a bouncer. I actually remember exactly. And I was talking about, and he told my girlfriend, he's like, she's flirting. My girlfriend's like, no, trust me, like she wouldn't. If she's flirting, she doesn't talk. And I was talking, and he lost his shit. And then that's it. I never hung out with him after that. Like, it's just not healthy for my personality. So I wouldn't stay with that type of behavior. But
Yeah.
that's
And I
natural,
love, yeah, I
like my
love that
behavior.
whoever I'm with can go out if we're in a party and can talk with anyone, because then I can also go and talk with, like, if I'm hanging out, sometimes and you're in parties and for some reason the group starts dividing and it's like guys and girls on one
Yeah,
side,
yeah. I
and so
hate
all the
that.
guys are like, yeah, I know, I don't love it, but there's some moments where you can like share, like, I don't know, kick the shit and just be with your guy friends and talk about like farts and whatever. I don't
Oh,
know. But
gross.
but and so, but I love that because then if I want to do that or go over and just talk to guys about, I don't know, football or whatever, something that my girlfriend is not into, she can go and talk to someone else without having to like be sitting at the table and all quiet and be like, oh, I
Well,
don't
because
know anyone in
we
this party, or
we should
oh.
clarify something because before you're like, oh, she's talking to her. So you're totally okay with her talking to another guy. You just don't like her flirting, and there's a difference. There is a difference.
Correct. Yes, I don't
Yeah,
care that
yeah,
she's talking with someone else. Yeah, no, I'm not jealous like that. But you can totally tell when somebody's being flirty and trying to make you jealous. And it's
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
that's just like,
My ex did that
yeah,
all the time. He always
yeah,
tried to like. He always. I mean, I had one ex, like I said, that was so social. I never felt he was flirting. Another ex that really went out of his way to like go as far as he possibly could before my beans spilt out.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
But it's just like you and me. Like we were, I don't know, 3 hours in the plane. We
I
were
think
talking
even
all the
longer.
time.
Oh yeah, is that a 3 hour flight? Yeah, you're right, 3 hour flight.
Yeah, or 3.5 hours. I don't know, but we were a long time just talking, and neither of us felt that we were hitting on each other.
No,
You know,
what's the
like
first thing we said to each other? We're like, it was so nice talking to someone without that person hitting on you. Like when you asked for my information, I was like, fuck yeah. I never felt like you were like, hey, like, hey girl. Like it was just you were just
no, and you
being
know what?
chill.
I didn't. You gave me the information.
Did I? Oh, I
Yes,
thought
you
it was
were
the
like,
other way
hey,
around.
yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
because
so unlike me.
well, yeah, and that's what you said. You're like, you know what? I really do not share my information that much, but I'm gonna share my Instagram. I and
But
this
I
is
thought you
and I'm like,
asked and I said that. Oh,
how was I gonna
that's
ask?
so,
I just told you
you're
that
so
I'm
funny.
terrible at asking
Yeah.
girls for
But
numbers.
you're so funny. That's so true. Look at me. I need the ego boost. I have to
Yeah,
be like, no, he asked
yeah,
and
I was all over you. I was like, please give me your
no.
info.
But it was true. The first thing we said to each other, we're like, it's so cool talking to someone who didn't feel like they were hitting on you at all.
Yeah.
Because I've actually met a lot of guys on planes, and a lot of times I do give my information if I don't feel like they're hitting on me, and I don't if they do. Like on the way there, I was also sitting next to a guy that I talked his ear off. But, I mean, Massive was
Oh,
just like,
I felt so special, but now I see that with everyone.
well, you know what happened is I was really busy with work right before this trip. So I like was home for a whole week before. I literally socially exploded like once I was out in public. Like when we were waiting to get on the plane, I was talking to these three guys. And then once and I thought one was cute, but I was like, only if they hit first class am I gonna like try to give numbers, you know? But unfortunately, they were sitting even behind us. So it was Massa, and then I was in the middle, and then there was a guy, and the guy was great, but I couldn't tell if he was flirting or not. So when he asked for my information, I said no, sorry, I don't have
Yeah.
Instagram. But he was chill, like it was a great conversation. I just didn't want to one connect a friendship because he was like younger and not really my type of person. Like he's really fun and nice, but like
Yeah.
I have enough friends, you know. And
I'm all friended up,
I'm all friended up. Like you really had to be extraordinary, like
like
yourself,
me.
making
Okay,
bomb
perfect.
jokes. Listen,
Okay.
like making bomb jokes.
Now I feel special. Thanks.
You made bomb
Thanks.
jokes on a plane. I love making bomb jokes in airports, and nobody loves that as much as me. And you were right there, like especially like with my girlfriend and her passport. I always like, I'm like, she's got an Iranian passport. You might want to check that a little more, like, you know. So and she gets so mad at. Well, she doesn't really get mad. She gives me the looks, but
Yeah.
you were the only person I ever met that really jumped on that bond bandwagon. So, and
Yeah.
it's just
You know
so
what you should do
taboo.
with her? When you go to a store or something, you know how you walk in, like, I don't know, Macy's or Dillard's or whatever, and like there's always security there.
Yeah.
You're walking with her and be like, hey, don't steal anything like last time.
I
They'll
know.
follow you around.
I'm actually gonna do that to her when we're in Vegas. I'm actually let me do it to her and tell you how it is.
Please do that. It's so funny
I
because they
actually
will stop, like they'll follow you and you'll see them. Like,
have you
yeah,
done
but
it
don't
to
laugh.
somebody?
Like, be totally serious. Yes,
That is so
back in
fucking funny.
Mexico, I was like, hey, don't steal anything like last time. Like right next to the security guard, and
Oh
it
my
was
god, I'm
amazing.
so gonna do this. This is genius. I love fucking with her. I think we're sick. We might be mentally. You are like me. Everything you're not supposed to laugh at, we laugh at. So
Of
I'm actually
course.
gonna do it to her. That's genius, man.
Yeah, but
Genius.
don't laugh. Like be serious.
I
Like
will try
don't
my
make
best.
it funny. Yeah, don't make it funny because then they'll know that it's a joke. You have to like be
I
serious.
mean, I fuck with her so much. You don't understand. Like going through security. I even one time told the guy coming back from Italy that she tried to Amanda Knox me out there, and she didn't know who that was. So she kept saying like, "Yeah, yeah." The
I don't know who that
security,
is.
yeah. Well, she's like, "Yeah, I tried to," but the guy that was, you know, in like your passport checking people, what are they called, TSA? He was like so confused. We were like landing into Canada, and he was just like laughing but also confused. And then I told her after, she's like, "Fuck, why do you do those things?" But no, I'm gonna do that to her.
Yeah,
That's
do that.
we totally sidetracked, but that's yes. But the point is, we never ever. There's a difference. There's a difference between how you communicate and people. If you're dating someone enough, you know if that person's flirting or talking.
Yeah. So I want to tell you a quick story of something that
Tell me.
happened. I went to a friend's party. It was a surprise party. He just turned 40. And so he lives 8 hours away from where I'm at. So he lives in El Paso. So 8 hour and a half drive. And so I drove over there and surprised them. And I'm there at his birthday party. And um his wife, like it was a big party. Like they rented out like there was DJs and tables and dinner and everything. But it was like casual. And so we're there, people start leaving. It's maybe like 2:30 in the morning. And so then it's just a small group of people. There's like three girls, three guys, me, my friend and his wife. Or like there's like three more couples. And then my friend, his wife, and me by myself. And nobody knows me. They're barely. I mean, it's the first time I met them, right? And so I'm there, and I didn't realize that they were all couples. I just saw three girls and three guys. And so one of the girls comes and pulls me, and we start dancing, and starts like, "Oh, let's play this song, let's play that song," and she's like dancing, and she's like dancing close. So we're dancing Mexican cumbias or stuff like that, and she is like humping me like hardcore. And then she starts nibbling on my ear. And I didn't realize that her fiance is sitting there.
Did you even know she
And
had a fiance?
no, I didn't know that because I was like, I go, so we kind of like stop dancing and I pull my friend and I'm like, hey, what's up with this girl? Like, she's cute. I mean, should I like try to hit on her or what? And he's like, her fiance is sitting out there. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, the guy like in that shirt? Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. The guy did not care. Like it
Wow.
was totally noticeable. Like everyone
That,
at the party knew that she was like on top of me. And I'm like, I don't know if I could be like that chill and not
but
say
maybe they're
anything.
into that third situation that you were a part
Yeah.
of before. Maybe they're into
Well,
that.
yeah, maybe. But I was like, oh shit. And he
Did
was
you
just like, cool, cool.
did you keep dancing with her after or no?
Yeah, I mean, I we kept dancing until we left, like until the party ended. It was like maybe 4 in the morning, and
Hmm.
the party ended. And but yeah, but I'm
But
like,
that sounds
I
like
would
an
not.
open relationship though. That sounds like an
Well,
open relationship.
it could be, but I mean, I didn't ask for digits or anything, so I don't know.
If it was
But no,
me, I'd never talk to that guy again. Like if I was, or the like if my boyfriend did what she was doing, that
you
would be
would,
it.
yeah,
If
yeah,
my boyfriend like went all over some girl and like necking and whatever, I that's it. I'd never.
yeah. She was like biting my ear and like dancing like extremely provocative.
If it
And
was your girlfriend, would you have taken her back?
fuck no, I would have stopped that shit from the get go. Like no.
But stop it and take her back, or like to me, if someone's doing that, that's it. I've seen your colors.
Yeah, no, I would have been like, "Hey, we're leaving," and that's it. Like, no, you're not doing that shit. Bye.
But would you
I'm
break
dropping.
up with them? Like I wouldn't stay with someone who's intentionally trying to make me jealous.
Yeah, and you know what? It was kind of weird, but because I don't think she was trying to make him jealous. I think they could be just in an open relationship,
It
and
sounds like it.
yeah, because he was all nonchalant, like just like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that
like
sounds
yeah,
like an open relationship. But I
yeah,
mean, flip the switch. Like, I mean, you're not really answering. Like, if it was me and I'm dating someone, let's say it's not open relationship, and they go out of their way to try to make me jealous at this day and age, I would not stay with someone. I wouldn't stay with someone because that's the beginning of toxicity for me that I can't go get past. I would
even
not
though
be
you're
with someone,
engaged.
even if I was engaged. If I was with a
Okay,
guy who needed to make me jealous in order to make himself feel better,
yeah,
I wouldn't stay with him because
yeah.
that's the type of stuff that creates a really bad foundation. And I
Oh,
don't
of
want to live in
course.
a shaky house. But
Yeah, no,
you,
no,
it
no.
sounds like you'd
Yeah,
break
no,
up with them.
no. I would totally break up with her.
You would?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, go ahead.
it's
Sorry.
just it's kind of weird that I mean, if they're engaged, it's not like they met yesterday, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. Like it could be that they were just in an open relationship, but if you're engaged, you probably already knew that she or he was like that. I'm talking to you, and you would have already broken up with him. Like I think I would have broken up with her a long time ago because it's not like she only did it this one time, you know?
That one is huge. I mean, that's really crossing a fucking line. What if it was
Yeah.
just like for me, I mean, like I'm thinking about this, like you're right, because you would know that's in their character before. you got to that point. So let's take it back like 10 notches. Like you're with someone, you're just dating a couple months in, and you notice that they're trying to make you jealous. Like they're touching someone too much when they're talking. They're like kind of like too cuddly into this conversation. They are flirting. What would you like?
I would first talk to that person and be like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what's your deal? Like, are you
Yeah.
doing this for attention, or are you doing it because you like that dude, or what's up?"
Yeah,
And then,
like
yeah,
I would say like I'm not gonna get jealous, I'm gonna leave you. But I give him a warning first.
yeah. I mean, I need a clarification of what's going on. Like, I don't know. Like, are you just like that always? Like touchy touchy? Because I don't like that. Or yeah. I mean, again, communication.
So the first round is communication. So let's say like you're dating someone 3 months in, you have that conversation, they never do it again, you get engaged, and then they go that far. They do the kissing and lip
I
whatever.
would break up. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. I'm like, we already had this conversation. Why do you keep doing this?
It seems really unhealthy. It just seems really
Yes.
unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people go past like my mom always gets mad. She's like, "Oh, like the smallest things you ended with people," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't ignore red flags. I don't believe in dating someone under the assumption of who they can be. I date them today based on who they are." So let's say I have that conversation with someone. I believe in conversation. Like maybe they didn't realize it was so big. So you always have the conversation about boundaries first, about everything.
Yeah.
There's always the
Yeah.
first round. The second round is a red flag for me. Like I had a conversation with one guy, like about something. I mean, that time that guy blew up with the friend thing, I just knew for sure. Like he blew up so bad. I tried to talk him down. He was like, "No," but I was like, "This guy's in his personality." I still gave him another chance, but shouldn't have. But in general, when something like, let's say you have that conversation the first time, the second time around when the boundary is there and the person blatantly crosses it, I don't. That's a red flag that I see them for who they are. I gave them a chance to understand. They did it
Yeah.
again. And I don't believe in dating someone on their potential. Like if they come back and be like, I'll never do it again. It's like, no, we already had the conversation. You did do it again. That's who you are. I'm not going to
Yeah.
date you on the potential of who you promise not to be, you know,
Yeah.
or who
Yeah.
you
Of
promise to
course.
be. So,
No, no, I get it. Yeah. So no, I understand what you're saying. And yeah, I mean, I would totally break up with that person and be like, no, because yeah, I don't like it, and you should respect that I don't like that shit. And if you were in my shoes, I'm pretty sure you would not like that either.
I mean, it's really funny. Like we kind of in society make a lot of excuses for people when they cross boundaries. Like I always believe in the first, like we said, the first time. But after you put the boundary there and they keep crossing it, and then we keep hoping they're being a better person. I do believe people can change; they can be better. But if you're seeing a really big red flag, like jealousy to me is a huge, really unhealthy and insecure. And when it's like actual jealousy, it's really, really unhealthy. It's just like, to me, it's like no matter how many times you lay that wood for the foundation of that house, it's like they come and they smash a hammer. It's like, well, you can only like start the foundation so many times and restart so many times before you're like, fuck it, I'll just buy already a house that's pre-made, you know?
Yeah.
So, so like I am not all for that. Like I just think it's better to move on. And cut your losses because that type of behavior, that type of insecurity is so deep rooted. They really need to take time and figure themselves out.
Yeah.
And it's not something
So
that your support can always help. I mean, your support can, but like again, like fixing someone and supporting someone is two different things. If you have to fix them and help them be a better person to a point that you lose yourself, that's fixing them. That's not supporting them. And most
yeah.
people lose themselves trying to fix somebody else, you know? Like I tried to fix my ex and I lost myself. Like he was so insecure and he would constantly rip into me and make me insecure in order to make himself feel better. So I was trying to fix him, wasn't supporting him. It's not like, you know, they go to AA and then you're just helping them. I was the AA, like, you know. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, I was losing myself. Like if you got to fix someone versus supporting, like they're already fixing themselves and you're just like there for healthy support, big difference. And jealousy is one of those things that people just got to fucking fix on their own.
Yeah.
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 Insecurity rubs
That's
off.
yeah. And yeah, and then and if you're and so yeah, sometimes you can start being insecure and jealous because that person is like that, and then it becomes a toxic relationship.
I think it does rub off. Like I know with mine, it did. Like I was saying, I wasn't that person going in at all, and also vice
Yeah,
versa. I was that person going into my healthy relationship, and I became the opposite. And then I wasn't at all that person. But my second relationship, he was so intensely insecure that his
yeah,
only way he could feel, and I'm sorry to say, but like he was never good enough for this relationship. Like he just was. He's a very very dark person. I'm sure he's changed now. I hope he's changed now, but he had a lot of dark like issues, and he knew that going in. So his only way to make that deflect was to make me feel like I was just as awful, and it did. Like me trying to help him feel like a better person, he did the opposite for me so that we could even out and meet somewhere in the middle. And that's
yeah.
what caused this insecure, and every time we were good, like every time we put another layer of brick on that house, we smashed it down, had to start all over again with some insecure bullshit because of his jealousy and insecure issues. And they really were deep rooted issues. And it was not something that I could fix. He had to do it on his own. Like, he needed professional help.
Yeah.
And so, but meanwhile, it completely, I was so insecure after that relationship. It wasn't until someone I did after that made me feel good about myself again.
Yeah, of
But
course, because then it's a trust issue, and
yeah.
you sometimes don't even trust yourself. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
And when you trust this person, it's amazing because they make you feel like you can trust them. Like, I don't know. It's
that's actually the best way of putting it, actually, because I was saying like that other guy made me, I worked on myself and made myself feel better as a person again. And what the next person I was with, I trusted them to not break
yeah,
it down. That's what I should say. He didn't fix me. He supported it by
yeah,
showing me to trust that someone doesn't have to break you apart to be with you. You know what I mean?
correct.
That's exactly what you're saying is the trust. Like the person I was with after, he didn't do anything. I worked on myself. I took the time to work on myself and brought my security back up and really, looked at everything. And then I was a healthier version of myself. And the next person that I was with, I trusted, and he showed me it was possible to be with someone that won't do that to you again. So that's
Of
actually the
course.
best way of saying it. You really
Yeah,
nailed
and
that.
yeah, and like what you said last time, like it's the baggage. Like you cannot be carrying baggage from old relationships and be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, just because this person like hurt me or did something, you're going to always carry that shit to the next one. Because no, you have to let it go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could only do that by working on myself before I entered another situation or
Exactly.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And honestly, it was so healthy after that. And I've never been in that situation again because I was like, oh my God, there are people who don't do that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think
So,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna round this up and
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask you one question.
yeah, ask.
Do you feel men and women can be friends without having like sexual tension or like,
Thousand
oh,
percent.
something's gonna.
1,000%. I have so many guy friends. So many guy friends. I have two guy friends I've been friends since I was 12. I tell them everything. I love telling them everything. Like we don't all live in any of the same city. One lives way out in the outskirts of BC. The other one lives in Vancouver. I live in LA. I love telling them everything because they're vaults. They don't repeat anything. So anything I have to keep completely secret, I literally just burden
Has
them with
has
it.
that has anything ever happened with them?
Never, never. And honestly, like every time I love having guy friends like that because I have more guy friends than just those ones. Those are just the two I've had since I was 12 that they're like
Yeah.
brothers to me. I have a lot of guy friends, a lot. I have like another guy friend that I've been out when we both moved out here from Canada. He's from Montreal. I've like gone on trips with him. I've, like done family things with him. Very, very close, never any ever interest not in his end. He would rather kill himself than date me. And I would never date him. I always share things, when he was going through like big breakups, we talk about it together. Getting male and female perspectives. Recently a guy did something to like I was confused about and I didn't really know how to react, and I asked him and he gave me advice. Like, it's really great. And there's never been anything with any of them, with like at all, with any of my guy friends. I mean, I should
Okay.
say any, most of my guy friends, you know.
So, have there been friends? that something has happened and you just kept the relationship as friends?
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
a few,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, I have. And
yeah,
you know
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
when I'm with someone though, when I'm with someone new, and then let's say that person's around, I never don't share that with that person because I would absolutely. I'm okay with my boyfriend being friends with someone that he probably fooled around with or tried to date, and then they realize they're just better off as friends. I believe you can be that. Like you can be better off as friends.
Of course, yeah.
And so I don't mind that as long as I know. If I find out and I didn't know, that I'm not okay with. But and so I do the same thing. Like I have a guy friend that we met online. We kind of like hung out a little bit. Realized we don't see each other that way. We're good friends years later. Never like any interest in either party. If I bring a new boyfriend into the situation, I tell him so that he's not blindsided with that information. You know,
Perfect. Yeah.
that's
Good.
actually a sign of respect. What about you?
No, I'm the same way. I mean, I have girlfriends that nothing has happened, and I have friends that are girls that things have happened, and we still hang out, and we're still cool, and we're like, yeah, I mean, it happened, and that's cool, you know. But we
And
still like respect each other, and if they're going out with someone, I'm like, cool, how's it going, you know? And I'm always like, hey, like tell me like what's up, like if something, like if you get in an argument, I mean, I'm like, we're so close that you can tell me anything and I'm not being jealous and I'm not being, I'm like, I really want to help you out and give you my opinion as a guy.
I think that's important. Like that's like a lot of times I think actually being friends with someone of the opposite sex actually helps you get like a lot of times like my guy friends come to me and they're like, "Oh my god, she did this and this." And it's like, "Well, let me give you her perspective." And
Of
then they're like,
course.
"Oh, okay, I kind of get it." And then they back off and they can fix the situation. You talk with them about it. And that's actually the beauty of having a friend of the opposite sex. And
Of
I
course, yeah.
think that like I have a guy friend who's I only found out after like their engagement broke up that I was always so nice to her, like so nice to her, and there's never been anything between us. Like we are not at all each other's side. And a lot of times he had problems with her, and he I helped him through them. And then he was actually much nicer. I was actually hurt like unbeknownst to her, like her savior in a lot of situations. Like he was like ready to rip into her a lot of times over things that weren't when I talked him through it on a girl's perspective. And then I found
Yeah.
out after their broken engagement that she always fucking hated my guts. She never trusted
Oh,
me. Yeah. And it's really
oh, that
crazy.
sucks.
So yeah. And I was always saying such nice things about her, and she like all the things that she said about me were so fucking awful that I said to him, if you ever go back to her, I'm totally okay with us not being friends because I would rather he find someone he loves and he's with her than a
Yeah.
friendship. Like obviously marriage is way more important than just having another girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean? I would much rather
But
support that, but I would
but
never
that's
be friends with her.
terrible. But that's terrible. If
Well, she
if he
was
has
so
to
nice to me.
choose,
I
yeah,
know.
but if he has to choose, no.
I wouldn't never make someone choose. I would never. But the things she said about me were so fucking below the belt. And she was so nice to my face that I was absolutely shocked. Like, she said some things about me that, like, I have never even had my worst enemy say. So I would never befriend her. And I don't think he has to choose. I would want him to choose her. I actually, but I would never hang out with her again. I would be cordial with her if I saw her. I would be polite, but I would never like. She would come to my house. I would make her dinner. I would like help her with her work stuff. I spent hours doing like marketing stuff for her once. Like, like to find out the things. She wasn't just like, "Oh, Sherry's a bitch" or "Sherry likes you" or like that kind of stuff. She
Yeah.
said some real fucking nasty ass stuff about me.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
sucks.
like, yeah, like even to the point, like she tried to. I mean, this is just like the tip of one of the things. I told you like there was that married guy that I didn't know was married, and he came out with all my friends. When
Yeah.
I found out he was married, of course, I told him, and I was shocked. We were all shocked, and he hung out with them, and she was so happy about it. She was like, "No, like Sherry's lying. She was definitely trying to date a married guy," and that's like such a touchy thing for me. Like I would never. And she was trying to say, and she was like, "Oh, she's after you too." Like just like that was just like the nicest thing she said about me. But yeah,
Wow.
I would never befriend her again. I would.
Good.
It would never happen. But he
Yeah,
would
no.
have to. I would never want him to choose. He should choose her 100%. You know,
I
there's no
I would
choice.
not. I would recommend not to.
Well, they're not back together anyways, but I mean that was years
Good.
ago.
I don't like her.
But I don't like
I don't know
her
her. I don't know her, but I don't like her. Who
I
doesn't
love you
like
to support.
Cherry?
Oh, a
Ah,
lot of people. But
why? You're so nice.
not always. Not always. I mean,
Well, at
we'll
least
go.
with me, like with people that you care about, you're nice. So,
I
I
know.
mean,
That's the
yeah,
difference. That's the
yeah.
difference. When I don't care, you're on a really shitty end of a stick. But
I'm glad I'm not on that side.
I know, me too. I like having you on my good side too.
But
All right, so
yeah.
should we wrap it up?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
And next week we're talking about pet peeves on dates and dating. So we'll bring that up.
Yeah.
Again, please follow us on the perfect underscore X. That's the letter X on Instagram. And then, email us any topics or things you want to bring up on the podcast at the perfect X. There's no underscore in that one, the perfect X at hotmail.com.
Yes.
Cool.
We really hope to hear from you.
Especially Ben. Ben wants to hear
Yes.
from you. I'll talk to you
Okay.
on Monday. Have a good
I'll talk to
weekend.
you on Monday. You too.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.